You're listening to the WTA Insider Podcast. Ready? Play. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the WTA Insider Podcast. I'm Courtney Nguyen, senior writer for WTA Insider at WTAtennis.com, and I'll be your host on this podcast, where we take it closer to the players and all the action on the WTA Tour. Alrighty, well, I am here with Karolina Muchova. We're at the China Open in Beijing. We're in a large empty room that's kind of echoey now that I'm noticing it, so I'm going to have to do some editing to clean that up. But hello, Carol. I'm sorry to hear that you're dealing with jet lag.
Hello. Thank you for having me, but yeah, that's life of a tennis player.
So we're going to try and do something here, which is a little bit ironic because obviously we're coming off of you having a great result in New York and making the semifinals there. But I'm going to try and put down this challenge. We're not going to talk about tennis. So we are not going to, I'm not going to ask you about forehands and backhands and goals and all the goofy stuff I normally pester you with. And we're just going to try and have a normal conversation between two human beings. Give it a go? Try it?
Yeah. Sounds very weird from you, but we can try it.
So my first question to you, so I'm just gonna like break the ice. If you had unlimited time and unlimited budget, where would you go and spend your vacation?
Vacation. Oh my God, ask me about forehands.
Stumping you already.
I'd probably go like Australia. I only see a few cities there, and I think I'd love to stroll around and see the whole island, and I think I could spend some time there.
Yeah. What is it that speaks to you about Australia? What gets in your bones there?
Well, the weather, the people are so
It's
nice.
hot.
I'll go in winter probably. Their winter. Their winter. The nature, I've been to Auckland as well, New Zealand. I think it must be cool to see the coast and surf maybe and just like have that life for a bit. I think I could enjoy that.
Have you ever driven on the other side of the road?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. How'd it go?
I did pretty well, I think. I had my friend who was stressing next to me. It was in Bahamas. So there was not that many cars, and we had a really broken car. Like, we just rented it, and it was really, like, the wheel was already, it was turned to the right all the time, but it was going straight. And she was stressing more than I was. And, I think at the roundabout, I was a little bit, I had to pay special attention, but it was not too bad.
I've never done it. I almost had to do it in London once. And I got into the car, and the minute that I sat into the seat, I looked at the person, I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, this is not going to happen. So that would make me panic.
Yeah, I think London, to drive there's a bit slightly different to Bahamas. There's like no cars, so that might make it a little easier for me. But yeah, I think we can get used to everything.
Yeah, makes sense. This is kind of another off-the-wall question. Are you a person who's big into space? I don't know. I talk to people who are like obsessed with the idea of like, oh, wouldn't it be great to go to Mars or to travel intergalactically, all that sort of stuff. Is that your personality at all? Is that something you're interested in? Or you're like, nah, I'm good.
Nah, I would never go. I'm fine with just flying with the airplanes. That's already like my fear. So I'm barely surviving there. So to go even a little bit further, a little bit more to the sky, no, I'm good, thanks.
You're good. Feet on the ground.
Yeah, I prefer that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are you a bucket list person?
No, it's really great interview. I'm sorry, but I don't have any bucket list. But no, but here and there, when I don't know, I see people, for example, jumping out of the plane, and I'm like, I'm so scared of it. I would never. But then I'm like, maybe it's a thing that I like to break fears, Yeah. So I'm like, maybe it's one thing that I will do, but it's not like if I will not do it, I'll be nervous about it or something like that. But there's some stuff that I want to do, but I guess if I never do it, like it's all right. I'll take that as well.
This interview is going great because you're so relaxed and chilled about everything. So it's hard to kind of pin you into I mean, you say you love breaking fears. But you don't love flying. You're slightly scared of heights or
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm scared of
I'm
heights.
super scared of heights. Like I will faint. Like even looking up. Like it's a weird thing. Like even if my feet are on the ground and I look up to a tall building, I'll just like fall backwards. It's really bad.
This is not a level.
I try to go extra when I get the chance. But what's the last thing that you did that you surprised yourself that you did, knowing kind of what yeah you would be normally scared of doing?
So that's a good question. I don't know. That's a really tricky one. I'm sure there was something. I mean, I flew here. uh, what I was really scared to do. I'm Nothing is coming to my mind. I know that I was pretty this year. I we just talked about it before a few minutes, so that's why it popped in my head that I ran a half marathon and I never ran. Like I never run. I mean, obviously I have to run a little bit, but I've never even run like 10K before or something like that. So I was like, when I figured out that my coach told me we're gonna run that, I'm like, whoa, like 21K. I'm not sure if I will be able to finish. And it was kind of like, I don't want to say build around me, but it was raising for, we were raising money for,
Okay, like
for
charity.
yeah, like a charity thing. So I was like, okay, I have to kind of run that. I have to like make it. It was so hot and stuff, but it's not like fear from heights. But yeah, it's the only thing that kind of came to me. And honestly, then when I ran through the finish line, I was like, there was the best feeling ever. You know, like I mean I couldn't walk. Yeah. but like inside it was so nice that I actually like I made it. We as a group made it, and it was so cool.
That was in Czech.
Yeah, in Czech, in Prague.
In Prague?
In Prague.
That's
Yeah,
very cool. You're not the only person that I've heard this before from tennis players who are like, we're not runners. Like, we do sprints, we do all these other things, obviously, but the idea of running a marathon to a lot of tennis players is kind of pointless in a lot of ways, you know? So, how did, I mean, outside of wanting to do this for charity, but like, why do it? Especially like kind of mid season, no? Or was this a while ago?
No, it was this year, and honestly, the main motivation was the charity. And well, I didn't play. I had my arm in a cast still at that time, so if you would see me running with that, it was funny as hell. But yeah, I was like, you know, what to do on a Saturday morning? Let's just run a half marathon for a good cause with the people I like. It was really just a silly, crazy idea to do it from one day to another because other people they are like preparing for it
Oh,
for
you didn't
months.
train for it?
No, I didn't run for yeah.
crazy.
I had a surgery like I don't know. It could be like 5 weeks before that. So it was just from nothing. So yeah, it was funny.
I, for some reason in my head, thought that you were an adrenaline junkie, but maybe I'm wrong. Are you not somebody who craves that like adrenaline high, or maybe you get it in your job and you don't have to get it elsewhere? I don't know. But how would you characterize yourself in that way?
Oh, I like it, and I for sure get it in matches, even though we're not talking tennis.
Theoretical
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, I like speed. So that I like in a car or on the bike or yeah, I'd say these. Now I'm like you asking me this question, I'm blank. I don't know. I don't know myself.
It's tricky because this is part of the reason why I wanted to. We're towards the end of this. We're not talking tennis, but we're towards the end of the season. You know, I know you guys are kind of sick of answering tennis questions. Honestly, sometimes I'm sick of asking them. So I figured we'd try to do something different. But it could turn out that this is the only thing that we're actually good at is doing this within the tennis context.
Yeah, probably this is no one's gonna listen to this, but we tried, and that counts.
It counts a lot. It counts a lot. All you can do is do what you can with what you have on that day, right? The Arthur Ashe quote. But the question that I had for you also is you just mentioned running the half marathon in Prague, Czech Republic. What, and this isn't a tennis question, so don't worry, it's not that question that you guys get all the time. But what do you love most about being Czech, about growing up in Czech Republic? Because small nation, but very, I mean, beautiful, and everyone's so nice. Anyways, I've had lovely experiences when I visited, but just from your perspective, what makes you proud to be Czech?
Yeah, I really love Czech. I mean, I grew up in a smaller town. I'm now in Prague for I'd say 5, 6 years, and first time I didn't even wanted to move there because I really was all about where I was coming from, and I love the city. But now I love Prague. The city is it's beautiful. It has nice coffee shops. It has nice restaurants. There's everything. Everything is compact. You can just walk through the city in a day. So that's very convenient, and yeah, I think I just feel like at home, which I should, and like all the surroundings, it makes me feel like I'm at home, and yeah, there's just a plus point that it's a very beautiful city. I recommend for anyone who never been there to check it out.
You mentioned before being like from a smaller town. So now that you've been in Prague for like 5 or 6 years, what is still very small town about you, and what now is like the big city, Carolina Muchova, that exists? Like, kind of, how do you balance those two things? What qualities stand out to you?
Yeah, like to be honest, first 2, 3 years I was living in the city, so I get that like the vibe from the city, like a big town girl, as you mentioned. But now I moved to the to the side, and it's still like I live close to the park, and they're just like old people and me. So I'd say that's very small town girl about me. So I like still the calm and the quiet, and not that many people in at one place. And when I was in the city, there's trams, there's so much noise. So yeah, so I'd say that one that I still live at the like in the park basically. I feel like I'm going, yeah, under the bridge. That's yeah, yeah. So I feel like I'm still going to my little town there when I travel back from, because the tennis courts and everything is in the city. So I always go back to my place where I feel nice. And the big town girl, however you called it, I don't know. It's for sure going like to some nice restaurants, and I don't want to say parties, but like, well, it could be
Like events?
yeah, like events and stuff like that. I kind of enjoy it here and there if I have time for it, and that's for sure. That was new for me, and I kind of like it.
Last question for you on that point about events and big city life and things like that. I have no idea if this is a concept that exists in Czech. I assume it does because it's a worldwide thing. But like a jukebox, you know what a jukebox is? Okay, so if there's you're at a restaurant, a bar, event, whatever, and there's a jukebox, you got some quarters and you want to go put on a song. What's the song that you think is like your go-to jukebox song?
So we have it in my town that I'm from. Like it's everywhere.
Okay.
It's everywhere. And then when we go out with my family, with my brother, we always put in quarters, and it's like 90% is just Czech songs. So
Like Czech folk songs or Czech pop songs?
it's like rocky vibes more, and but it can be as well pop songs. And we just like, so everyone knows them and everyone sings. So I'd say it's yeah, Czech songs. You wouldn't know, I guess.
You can say that.
Nah. Let's not.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
Well, we tried. We tried 10 minutes of not talking about tennis. We almost got there. I think there was like maybe one or two slips. That was my fault, not your fault. You were good about the rules.
Both of us.
But I appreciate your time, Carolina. Congrats on a great season, by the way. I mean, I'm going to slip a third tennis reference in there. I mean, like, for not a ton of tournaments that you've been able to play this year.
Yeah.
Pretty good strike rate.
Very short season for me, but yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with the way I kind of got back into my game pretty fast, and I'm here now. I have to knock on the wood. I'm kind of healthy, and the season is almost over. Yeah, it's like my part-time job, this tennis thing. So yeah, I'm so far pretty happy about it, and as well looking forward to another season where I can prepare and do the tournaments that I wasn't able to play this year.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Carolina Mukova. You are a gem as always.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it a lot.
And that's a wrap on this episode of the WTA Insider Podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, or on any podcast app of your choice to ensure you never miss an episode when they go live. Reviews are always helpful, so if you like what you've heard so far, please do leave us one. And you can get new episode alerts by following us on Twitter at WTA_insider. And we'll, of course, post the podcast on the WTA website at WTAtennis.com. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.